Hi friends, I'm Uma Shankar Pandey and this is Dr. USP channel. The transition from analog to digital journalism marks a seismic shift in which news stories are told and consumed. There are three essential truths about digital journalism in this century. Firstly, digital journalism is largely dependent on algorithmic decision making. Secondly, thanks to availability of large data sets, numbers, and processing power, news stories are a lot more precise these days. Faster computers have made journalism more real-time. There are major landmarks that have shaped digital journalism. Let us see 10 stages that shaped digital journalism in this video. The evolution of journalism in the digital age has been swift, disruptive, and wide-ranging. The following 10 milestones highlight how digital journalism has moved from early web experimentation to the brave new frontier of artificial intelligence-driven strategies and immersive reporting. The first of these is online newspapers. Traditional newspapers once thrived on printed pages and physical distribution networks, but the internet changed news at a foundational level. The birth of the World Wide Web in the early 1990s shattered the traditional model of morning newspapers and evening broadcasts. When Tim Berners-Lee pioneered the web, few anticipated how quickly newspapers would seize on its capabilities. Yet by the mid-1990s, major outlets like the Daily Telegraph and the New York Times ventured into online publishing. Soon, the notion of breaking news took on a new life, guided by around-the-clock coverage. CNN, which had already begun 24-hour news television, amplified its operations online, allowing viewers to read follow-up analyses long after primetime bulletins ended. Where audiences once waited for the morning paper or the evening broadcast, they now accessed stories in real time, refreshing web pages incessantly. By sparking the race to post first and update most, the web fundamentally changed how and when people consume their news. The pros include unlimited reach to global audiences and instant reader feedback enabling audience engagement. And the cons include declining print revenues and struggles with monetizing digital platforms. The second milestone is data journalism. As digital news matured, journalists began using computational tools to sift through large data sets and uncover stories hidden in rows of statistics. Data and computational journalism emerged as a response to the growing availability of large data sets and the increasing demand for in-depth evidence-based reporting. Its roots trace back to the 1950s and 1960s with precision journalism, a term popularized by Philip Mayer, who used social science methods to report on public opinion and trends. It was the proliferation of open data initiatives and advanced computational tools in the 2000s that truly revolutionized this field. The release of government records, public health data, and financial disclosures fueled stories that were not only more informative but also interactive and visually compelling. It has democratized information, making complex issues accessible to the general public through visualizations, charts, and infographics. This shift towards data-rich reporting underscores journalism's evolving role as an interpreter of complex realities for an increasingly data-literate audience. The pros include deeper analysis of societal trends, fresh storytelling avenues, and the cons requires advanced training and technology resources. Potential pitfalls in interpreting large datasets without proper expertise is again a problem. The third milestone, interactivity. Multimedia and animation can simplify dense subjects, turning abstract concepts into visually digestible content. The integration of interactivity, multimedia, and animation in news storytelling has redefined how audiences consume information. This shift began in the early 2000s as websites evolved from static text to dynamic user-driven platforms. Early adopters like the New York Times and the Guardian introduced interactive timelines, maps, and videos to enhance storytelling, allowing users to control their engagement with content. One of the most groundbreaking examples of this approach is the New York Times, Pulitzer-winning feature Snowfall in 2012. It used animations, videos, and graphics to recount a tragic avalanche. The piece allowed readers to experience the story on multiple levels through text, immersive visuals, and embedded video interviews, setting a new standard for digital storytelling. By putting control in the hand of users, these formats not only democratize access to information but also cater to diverse learning style. The advantages include enhanced reader engagements through interactive visuals, greater audience comprehension for complex topics. But on the other hand, it can be expensive and time-consuming to produce, and it may overwhelm readers if over-designed. The fourth milestone is the social media. It has democratized journalism by giving a voice to communities previously underrepresented in mainstream media. Platforms like Twitter, launched in 2006, and Facebook in 2004 democratized news dissemination, enabling individuals to share information and images in real time, often ahead of traditional news outlets. The roots of citizen reporting can be traced to the widespread adoption of smartphones, which equipped ordinary people with cameras and connectivity, allowing them to document events as they unfolded. One of the earliest examples of citizen reporting came during the 2009 Iranian protests, where Twitter became a critical tool for disseminating updates from the streets of Tehran. Similarly, in India, the 2012 Delhi gang rape protests gained momentum on social media as citizens used platforms like Facebook and Twitter to organize rallies and share eyewitness accounts. The emergence of citizen reporting has undeniably enriched the media ecosystem by diversifying perspectives and fostering greater audience participation. The advantages include instant access to real-time updates, broader coverage of underreported stories. On the other hand, a risk of misinformation due to unverified content is there, and there's a strain on editorial resources needed to sift facts from rumors. The fifth milestone, the mobile news. People read headlines and watch videos during commutes, meal breaks, or downtime, redefining the concept of news consumption moments. The mobile news ecosystem has redefined how news is accessed, consumed, and delivered, driven by the widespread adoption of smartphones and affordable data plans. The real breakthrough came with the advent of smartphones, which combined internet connectivity with apps optimized for news consumption. In India, this shift gained momentum in 2016 after telecom companies drastically reduced data costs and brought millions of users online, creating a massive audience for mobile-first news platforms. It has democratized access to information, bringing news to remote areas and regional audiences through language customization and location-based content. However, the shift to mobile has also shortened attention spans, with users often skimming headlines instead of reading in-depth articles. Reliance on push notifications and bite-sized content raises concerns about oversimplification and sensationalism. Organizations like BuzzFeed and Quartz optimized headlines and story formats for phones. They used bite-sized content, scannable formats, and push notifications. The advantages are greater user engagement and personalized journalism attuned to user location. The disadvantages include decline in long-form reading, fierce competition for the user's limited attention span. The sixth milestone is the independent podcasting, which allows creators to tackle sensitive or underreported issues with minimal editorial interference. Independent broadcasting has emerged as a powerful medium for storytelling, education, and in-depth discussions, offering an alternative to mainstream news and entertainment. Over time, platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube expanded accessibility, creating a global audience for podcasters. Unlike traditional radio, podcasting provided a decentralized model, enabling creators to produce and publish content without requiring large studios or networks. The broader impact of independent podcasting lies in its ability to foster deep engagement with listeners while circumventing traditional media gatekeepers. Podcasts such as Serial in 2014, an investigative series that revisited a murder case, demonstrated how long-form audio storytelling could captivate millions and influence public opinion. In the Indian context, shows like Amit Verma's The Seen and Unseen have become influential platforms. Independent journalists found podcasting conducive to storytelling, interviews, and investigative pieces that benefit from an intimate audio environment. The advantages are it builds a loyal following through in-depth coverage. Flexible production schedules and distribution channels are also an advantage. The cons are monetization remains an uphill climb, and it's labor-intensive to research, record, edit, and distribute quality content. The seventh milestone, immersive journalism. It merges storytelling with virtual reality, augmented reality, and 360-degree videos to bring readers and viewers closer to news environments. Immersive journalism represents a transformative approach to storytelling, leveraging technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and 360-degree video to place audiences directly within the story. Its roots can be traced back to the early 2010s when advancements in VR hardware such as the Oculus Rift opened new possibilities for experiential media. Noni de la Peña, often referred to as the godmother of VR journalism, pioneered this field with projects like Hunger in Los Angeles, which used VR to create a food bank scene, immersing viewers in the struggles of hunger and poverty. This approach shifts journalism from passive consumption to active participation, creating an emotional connection that traditional mediums often struggle to achieve. Pioneers in this field experiment with empathic engagement, aiming to stir audiences to experience instead of just read. It creates strong emotional resonance, allows new formats of engagement and empathy building. On the con side, it's cost prohibitive and concerns about exploitation or voyeurism is there. The eighth milestone, drone journalism. The race to secure unique angles or hard-to-reach viewpoints has spurred journalists to employ drones and satellites. Drone journalism has emerged as a powerful tool for storytelling, offering aerial perspectives that were once the exclusive domain of helicopters and satellites. Its roots lie in the early 2010s when affordable consumer drones began to gain popularity. Equipped with high-resolution cameras, these drones allowed journalists to capture images and videos from hard-to-reach or dangerous locations. Early adopters such as The Guardian and BBC used drones to document environmental disasters, large-scale protests, and urban development projects. As regulations around drone usage gradually evolved, they became a valuable asset for newsrooms worldwide, offering unprecedented access to stories that benefit from a bird's eye view. By providing striking panoramic footage, drones add context to stories that are difficult to convey through ground-level reporting alone. Documenting environmental disasters, conflict zones, and large-scale protests from overhead can uncover patterns invisible from the ground. The advantages include access to remote or dangerous locations, clear top-down perspective that illuminates large-scale events. There are safety issues and regulatory constraints on drones, and privacy concerns around unregulated aerial surveillance is also there. The ninth milestone, algorithms and journalism. AI complements human creativity, making journalism more accessible, responsive, and impactful in the digital age. Algorithm-driven journalism has revolutionized the way news is curated, distributed, and consumed, leveraging computational algorithms to automate and personalize content delivery. Its roots lie in the early 2000s when news aggregation platforms like Google News used basic algorithms to cluster similar stories and display them based on relevance and timeliness. Over time, advancements in AI enabled the more sophisticated algorithms capable of analyzing user behavior, preferences, and engagement patterns. Algorithms can inadvertently create filter bubbles by prioritizing content that aligns with users' existing views, potentially limiting exposure to diverse perspectives. Additionally, the reliance on engagement metrics to rank stories can lead to the amplification of sensational or misleading content. For example, Facebook's algorithm has faced criticism for promoting divisive or clickbait articles to maximize user interaction. Whether it is personalized feeds on social media or recommendation widgets on news sites, AI-driven systems choose what news we see first. On the advantages, efficiency gains as routine tasks become automated. Personalized reading experiences for different audiences. There is the threat of filter bubbles and ideological segmentation. Potential for algorithmic bias and lack of transparency is there. The 10th milestone, artificial intelligence. Many media organizations explore novel revenue models against the backdrop of AI analytics and automation. The convergence of AI, digital strategy, and emerging revenue models has reshaped the financial landscape of news organizations, offering innovative solutions to the challenges posed by declining print revenues and shifting audience behaviors. The roots of this transformation lie in the early adoption of paywalls and subscription models in the late 2000s, when outlets like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal pioneered digital access strategies. AI-powered tools like recommendation engines ensure that readers are served content aligned with their interests, increasing time spent on platforms and fostering deeper connections with the brand. These systems analyze reader behavior to determine when and how to prompt users for subscriptions, improving conversion rates without alienating casual readers. AI has also enabled innovative approaches like micropayments, where readers pay per article rather than subscribing to an entire publication. The integration of AI with digital strategy has positioned news organizations to adapt more effectively to the demands of a digital-first audience and financial sustainability. Potential for stronger and more predictable revenue streams, deeper relationships with engaged audiences. On the con side, risks of alienating readers, ongoing pressures to refine and adapt business models in a rapidly changing marketplace. Thanks for staying along, friends. This is the 175th video on my channel. Thanks for your support all these years. I'll be back with another video very soon. Till then, have a great time.